In shipping, one clause, one email, one overlooked word can sometimes mean millions of dollars, operational delays, and even years of disputes. And to help us understand this world better, we have someone who has spent decades navigating exactly these complexities. Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Monday Shots, the platform where we bring you inspiring conversations, industry insights, and the people shaping the world of shipping. I'm your host Khyati, and today's episode is truly special because we are diving into one of the most fascinating and often least understood sides of the maritime world, the legal side. Today, we are pleased to host Advocate Ashwin Shankar, one of the most respected names in the maritime law. A graduate of National Law School of India University, followed by an LLM in maritime law from London, Mr. Shankar brings over 2 decades of experience in shipping, commercial disputes, and maritime advisory. He's part of one of Mumbai's leading maritime law firms, George Ribello, advising ship owners, operators, insurers, and maritime businesses across global markets. And beyond the legal world, the firm is also known for its unique culture, beautifully reflected in their Advocates and Barkisters initiative, celebrating their love for pets. So, Mr. Shankar, every successful career has a story, and I'm very interested and very curious to know your journey, how your journey started, and what made you choose maritime law, a field usually, very uncommon and like very least chosen by people who want to pursue law.
Yeah, maritime law has certain aura around it. It's international. It attracts a lot of attention because of the worldwide thing. But my own personal story is something like this. I was born and brought up on a beach in Goa. I lived in a villa that overlooked the port, so I always saw ships, iron ore loading, etc. happening. But it was a very beautiful place. Yeah. By some mistake that happened sometime in 1995, the National Law School of India University messed up somewhere and gave me what I think was a mistake on their part, an admission letter.
Okay.
I was never designed or never intended to do law. As many would think, my true calling was actually maybe to have been a male stripper or an architect, but God had other plans, and then I took up, I signed up for a very prestigious law course. In that process, I learned a bit of law, but I made a lot of friends. Many people helped me through my education, career. And then I was again, through another lot of good luck, I was given my first internship in 1998, followed by my first job under Mr. late George Ribello, who was a local shipping lawyer. Soon after I passed away, about 4 years later, he passed away after I joined him. And I continued his practice along with the rest of the team in his name. And I work now for the chambers of George Ribello, and it's a team of about 16 lawyers. It's one of the large law firms in India. I've been part of running it for the last 21 years, but it's been growing steadily and strongly. And yes, as you say, shipping, commodities, trade is a large part of it, and I enjoy it very much. I still think I have another 25 years at least left over, and I'm looking forward very much to it.
Well, that's great. I mean, just being on a beach and seeing the port activities, operations made you somehow, destined to this industry.
It is a very attractive industry. It's not one that many people know about because it's behind the scene industry. You don't see it, but once you're in it, you realize how large the industry is and what a small fraction of it we actually are involved in ourselves. I thought I knew a lot of people in shipping until when I go to an event or a function or a party, I realize how few people in the room I knew and knew back, and everybody was involved in shipping. So it's a huge industry. It is both niche, but yet it is very large at the same time.
Yes, on the global level.
Which is why it's, I think one lifetime is not enough to spend in this industry.
Oh, great. Okay, but just as I mentioned, you have a very special initiative that you have taken in your company, barkisters and cat advocates. Would you like to share a bit about it?
So I suggest whoever's watching, take a look at our office website. The beginning part of the website has all the boring stuff. Okay, what we do, what we are famous for, qualifications, awards. Don't believe any of that. Okay, all of them is dishonest. The only people on the entire website you can fully trust is at the bottom. We've got a section with a pun called Advocates and Barkisters. That has photos of all our faithful, loyal pets. And everybody loves dogs, and it's just generally also a great conversation opener. So we've yes, they're very much part of our office. They come to office occasionally, and we're all I think most people are lovers of pets.
Great, and that must be a sort of stress busters for you in such busy profile.
I mean, for anybody, whether it's your dog or your cat, but when you get back home and the love that you get, it's like true love. Somebody is so happy to see you.
Great to know. That's actually a very nice initiative. We'll think about it in our company. Okay. So, Mr. Shankar, I have a very, when I was doing my research for this particular episode, I understood that we are still very much dependent on English law and London arbitration. Why is that so? For example, if any two Asian companies, if they're doing business together, and why do their contracts, still have English law or London arbitration? Is it maybe because it's kind of a legacy, or they're more credible, or what? What do you think?
No, very good question. It's something that's confused me a lot also for a long time as to what the ideal solution is. I personally, being Indian, I always feel guilty that there's so much of all the businesses happening in all the developing countries. So India, Brazil, South Africa, Australia, wherever we may have. There's so much of business, economy, mining, trading, power generation, China, all happening in these countries. But when it comes to the dispute resolution, all of it goes typically to either London or to Singapore. And we try and, as far as possible, bring whatever we can back to our country. So when we have the opportunity, for example, to appoint an arbitrator, it may be London seated, but we will still try and appoint reputed, trusted, competent people in India itself to do the same job. So at least as far as it, we are able to develop our own system, expertise within our country. As long as it continues to go out, we never get a chance to build that part of our economy, skill sets or knowledge base. That's one. Why do we go to UK or to Singapore? Is for multiple reasons to their credit and benefit. They have had, in the case of UK, 200 years, in the case of Singapore, at least 50 years of good quality, hard work that they have put into developing their own system, reliability, quality, competence, skill set that is there, and they are reaping the benefits of what they genuinely deserve. It's not that they've just come and they've been hard selling and they're able to get the work. They've earned it. They are good at their work. There's a good quality bar, good quality experts, surveyors, a lot of things they're very good at. And in many ways, I will also admit they are better than what we are in India. So it's a controversial thing for me to say, but they have had a head start. It doesn't mean that we can't catch up with them. They have better writing skills. Sometimes they're able to present things better. But that certainly is, with some more support, India to be right up there with them. And that is a part of the challenge that I want to be part of, to help bring up India, not just India, likewise China, Australia, Brazil, South Africa, all the other developing countries, to have disputes resolved in their countries itself. So it is a challenge. It's a complex matter, but it's something which we're working towards.
Okay. So, see, I'm not from a shipping background, so I would like to know, only just India or any other countries also? Other countries also follow English law and London?
I'd say for shipping, majority of the world gets its disputes resolved in England and Singapore, most popularly, followed by New York, Paris, etc. But in shipping, it's mainly these two.
Okay, I see. Okay, so what do you think, what emerging legal risk should the industry be prepared for the, in the coming next 5 to 10 years?
So that's a massive question, very loaded, and should not be answered in 1 or 2 points. Okay? But the variety of risks are the ones that are the unforeseen ones. So it's very hard to predict, because if it was predictable, then it is not a risk. But the risks that are generally there are, honestly, for example, cyber, spoofing, where ships are being affected in their communication, in their reporting of where their locations are, their computer systems. That's one set of risks. Modern age risks. Virus is one set of problems. There's the other is more traditional, let's say piracy, attacks to ships. Counterpart risks, who you enter into a contract with is not financially solvent enough in case something goes wrong. Another major problem.
Which we call counterparty defaults.
Precisely.
And all that, yeah?
Precisely. Then there's just the general business risk. So your cargo gets damaged, your ship collides with somebody, fuel is received but not paid for, fuel is received but is off spec, you have a fire, collision, container damage. So the number of risks are myriad. Some are older risks, some are new risks, some are not yet foreseeable risks. But that is where everybody thrives in. The presence of these risks, let's say for me, I'm a beneficiary of these risks because these are not foreseen. Similarly, let's say a company like Bainbridge, if everything was perfectly normal, there was no value addition to make. But they step into position, they are taking a risk which other people are not willing to take, and they get the rewards of that. So for example, somebody may not have wanted to fix with a particular counterpart. Bainbridge is willing to take that risk, and they do their homework and they earn a profit in that process. So it is these risks where opportunities lie, and greater the number of risks, the greater number of opportunities are also there for everybody.
Of course, risk must be taken, because I read it somewhere, the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing.
You could sit safely at home, not cross a road, not take any risk, but you will not develop anywhere in life.
Definitely, yeah. So, people often think legal disputes begin with major conflicts, but I think sometimes it starts with just a simple line in your contract. So, in your years of practice, what's one maritime dispute you still remember because it taught everyone involved a very good lesson and changed the perspective?
Yeah. So, as you started in the opening, how one line or one sentence or one slip can have very large repercussions, it struck me to a story which I've been thinking about for the past few months. Is let's take in the context of shipping, lashing of cargo after it is inside the holds. It's a fairly small matter, but we've seen cases where the lashing cost is so small, somebody has compromised to save a very small amount of money on the cost of lashing, but then the claims have been extraordinarily large in that. So you never know what corners that you're cutting can have how large a repercussion financially. So you never know, and that's one point. The other one is, let's take somebody walks into our office with a case. It looks like a very heavy, juicy, large case. We think we're going to spend the next 3 years on it and we need a whole team of people on it. And it just surprisingly fizzles out within a matter of a month, everything gets sorted out. On the other hand, some of the smaller cases, which look that just requires one junior to work on, then ends up snowballing and becoming into a large, complex thing with multiple myriad sets of issues in it. So we can be so wrong in the way we predict, in my case legal, and I'd say in somebody, let's say in Bainbridge's case or other shipping company's case, you think you're entering into a standard contract, everything is normal, you've done this many times before, and you could have gotten everything wrong in it also. So, and that is the beauty of life. It's the unpredictability. If everybody knew that this was complex and I planned for complex and it turns out to be complex and reverse, it doesn't work out that way and there was no challenges then in it.
Yeah, right. So, without naming companies, can you share a case, a small case where, a small contract clause ended up costing someone millions?
So, maybe the illustration I just gave was where cargo was not lashed properly inside the holds. Very small saving of cost because of a compromise in the quality, resulting in massive claims, cargo shifting inside, stevedores refusing to unload cargo, port authorities in a first world country refusing to take any risks in unloading what might have had a 1% risk to their stevedores' life and safety. vessel remaining there for 3-4 months idle. So that's one example where you can have very large unforeseen claims arising out of what looks like a very small saving.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting also at the same time. Yeah. Okay, so have you observed any patterns like when markets are volatile? So does do legal disputes increase, or
what we tend to see is when the markets move, there are more disputes. So markets going up, that means freight rates, time charter rates going up, or commodity prices going up. One wants to perform and one wants to back out of a contract, resulting in disputes. Similarly, when markets are falling, we see the same phenomena. When the markets are stable, that means either continuously high, medium or low, we don't see that many disputes because the price remains what people had originally bargained for and envisaged. So people perform their contracts at smaller profits or smaller losses. Yeah. So it's usually the upward or the downward trend that sees more number of disputes. One, but two, also because of the nature of our business, disputes end up taking a couple of years at least before they get resolved. So whether it's going up, down or stable, there's the steady flow of new or existing work that is always there for lawyers.
So if we take an example of current situation like in Strait of Hormuz and the war situation in the world, so what is the current scenario right now? Like, are people backing from their contracts? Or
yeah, this question has been put to test, force majeure, non-performance during COVID time at great length, as well as now again during the Straits of Hormuz blockage. We are seeing people either wanting to perform or not wanting to perform, depending on which side of the charter party they are sitting on. Contracts become far more expensive now to do, because anywhere in the world, even if you're not entering or exiting the war zone, ships have become more expensive, fuel has become more expensive. So a lot of owners are trying to get out of unprofitable contracts. Lots of charterers or cargo interests want those contracts to be performed, A, because they actually do need that cargo, and B, because the replacement cargo now costs much more than what they were committed that they would be getting it at. So there is a lot of disputes going out of this. Then another set of disputes is ships that have their cargo stuck on transshipment container hubs like Jebel Ali. Those cargoes remain destined to be delivered at other parts of the world, but have not been able to either enter or exit. The third kind of dispute that we've seen is cargo meant to be discharged. Again, in the Jebel Ali, for example, is now being kept in India on temporary storage. Some of it is being absorbed into the Indian market, but a lot of it needs to go back onward to wherever they need to get delivered to. So there is a large set of disputes that we are seeing on fertilizer, on oil, people performing, not performing contracts, whether or not that cargo is, or the ship is going in or out of the war zones.
I see. Yeah. So what's the toughest decision you have had to advise a shipping client on in your?
So as a client, the way we look at ourselves as a lawyer is we really need to take the decisions. They come to us not because they want to be told what the options are. They don't really want to be told that this is the advice, this you can do it, but you also can't do it, and these are the risks. They actually, without saying it, every client wants the lawyer to take that decision for him. So in that process, as a lawyer, we are actually taking a lot of decisions for the client. So of course, we are not officially doing it, but we are giving our advice, and we know that that advice is likely to be followed. And while taking that advice, we're not only looking at the question from a purely legal perspective, but we also have to see it commercially as to how, whether he can afford it or not, whether the other side can afford this kind of thing or not, what is the time frame, what is the cost, what is the risk, what is the likely answer. And it's a combination of all this strategy that we tell him that we would suggest you do this. And then he may correct us and we may change our opinion also on that. But it's this decision-making support that makes any lawyer give a lot of comfort to his respective customer or client.
Do you also think about the personal after effects of the any suggestion or any like decision you have advised to the client?
I don't think it comes that often for me. I've missed out on that part of life.
Okay.
But usually, because I deal mostly with companies,
Right.
but for those lawyers who are advising individuals, it is a very important factor for them to keep it, because the client's emotion is also a very important thing. A lot of times we see ego disputes going on. So even though it might be a company, it may be one promoter who doesn't like the counterpart's promoter, and they're actually fighting on ego. So it is our role to water down that ego, see both of them, see sense, try and mediate a dispute between them wherever possible, resolve it. And it's not necessarily mediate because we are good people or because we want it to get mediated. Sometimes we discuss with a client and we tell the client that, well, you can mediate this dispute, but I would suggest you don't mediate, you fight it out, because at the end of the day, it may take you more time, it will take more effort from you, but there is a pot of gold that is lying at the end of it if you win. So it may be actually worth putting in the effort and fighting it out for a big eventual recovery rather than settling now cheap. So it's not necessarily mediate for the sake of mediating or because we're just good people. It's not like that.
Okay, so if a young professional wants to enter the maritime law industry, what advice would you?
Yeah, I get asked this question many times. I think it's a sign of my becoming old now. Yes, there is room for more. Okay. Every part of the world seems to be saturated. When someone asks me, is there scope for more? I say yes. And why I say yes is I know the fact that most of those lawyers who are in shipping are very busy. And the fact that they are very busy means there's more work than they can do. And certainly there is scope for bright new youngsters to join the industry within reasonable limits. But there are opportunities, and it is a career I would recommend to both aspiring lawyers as well as shippies, marinas, to look at this industry. If you look at, let's say, more advanced economies, the size of their shipping legal business is large. And that is a sign of what the Indian market might be few years later. And it is important to prepare for that. So you build the skill sets now, you build the domain knowledge, and when the business comes, the legal side will also be ready to support that new big business, hopefully coming ahead now.
So just out of curiosity, whenever a new case comes to you, any client comes to you with their problem or issue, how do you take it? Do you take it as a new challenge, or what comes first in your mind? Okay, now
I actually love, I won't say this to everybody, but I love what I do. Okay? And it still excites me, and I keep thinking about it. We have some fantastic people working in the office with me. Many are better lawyers also, people who trusted us, Bimal, Riddhi, who trusted us, Vishal, who trusted us when we were very small, joined us when they had many better opportunities to work with, and yet they chose us, and they've been with us now for 15-20 years. And they handle all the complicated matters where we're constantly bouncing off ideas, consulting each other for every case. There's 100% trust between the main team, and we agree, disagree, but there's constant debate going on, and with that we can evolve what we think is the best advice or package to recommend to the client as a strategy. Fight, don't fight, fight it this way, avoid this jurisdiction. So it's a lot of experience that is come together. And
so just if you want to share, have you ever lost also any case from your clients?
No, I think every lawyer would hesitate to admit it, but we've lost more than our share of the cases that we should have lost. We've lost cases that we should have won. We won cases that we should have lost. Okay? But that is the beauty of litigation, arbitration, is the unpredictability of the human mind.
Okay, so now Mr. Shankar, before we let you go, it's time for our Monday Shots quick fire round. So no thinking too much, and just the first thing comes to your mind. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. As a lawyer, I should start my fee billing clock right now.
Okay, great. Okay, so one misconception people have about lawyers.
I think that they are bad people. Okay, they're actually not better, but all people, all professionals are very good. They do their best with the best interest for the client. So I don't believe the conspiracy theories that people have when doctors or lawyers advise them in a particular way. Are they expensive? I will say yes, compared to other professions. They are slightly paid more than what others do, but I don't think that they are in any way dishonest or.
Okay, great. So one piece of advice for the shipping industry.
We need to grow a lot more. There's a huge amount of potential. We need to develop our ship owning capabilities. We need capital for that in India. There is talent, there is cargo, there are ports. The owning side needs to be developed more. We don't have insufficient number of tonnage within the Indian flag or enough number of Indian ship owners. So if banks can get together along with potential entrepreneurs, we can build shipbuilding to much higher, greater levels.
Okay, so negotiation or courtroom, where does the real battle happens?
Very loaded question. And there's a whole set of skills involved both for negotiation and for courtroom battles, but I would say courtrooms are tougher.
Okay. Your favorite part of maritime law, strategy, negotiation or dispute resolution?
Settlement gets me the maximum satisfaction. It's playing with the minds of both people, appeasing them.
Yeah, okay. So one shipping term that is most misunderstood?
Checks, without a doubt. Sundays and holidays excluded.
Okay. Most used phrase in your profession?
It depends, which is the most common advice that lawyers start off giving with. They will never give you a straight answer.
Yeah.
It's always, it depends, it could be this or it could be that.
Yeah, great. So tougher client, commercial team or operations team?
The commercial team always, they ask questions but don't listen to the answers.
Okay. So long contracts or short emails?
I'm into short emails, definitely.
Okay.
I think most readers don't have great attention span, so everything written after the first paragraph rarely gets read at all.
So one word for the current freight market?
Stable, strong. It's at the right levels right now. Owners are finally making money, but not too much of it. The market can sustain this. It's a good sign.
Okay. So if not a lawyer, what would you have been?
Probably an architect. That's my area of interest as well.
I see. And last but not the least, coffee during negotiations or after winning a case?
It's usually during negotiation, but let me tell you a short story.
Yeah, sure.
It's the way if I was to negotiate a case as a mediator, I would try to bring peace to both sides. Everybody has a different way of doing it, but mine is as follows. It's a little unconventional. I usually take both sides out for lunch. We have lunch together. We don't talk about the case. I pay for the lunch always.
I see.
Okay? And there are reasons for that. When we break bread together, there is a bonding that is built up between the two warring factions. One. Two is if I pay the bill and when we start discussing the actual settlement soon after lunch, they have a sense of an obligation owed to me. And they will want to appease what I want, which is basically to get a settlement. So they work harder towards achieving that result. And because they are on full stomachs and because they've eaten together, I found that the entire body language is far more cooperative. Settlements are achieved at greater length. So my personal strategy is I arrange for a lunch, pay for it, and do the negotiation talks in the afternoon. And I've had luck with it, yes.
And it works.
It does.
Great to know. So Mr. Shankar, last but not the least, are there any people in your life who have inspired you and who have guided you throughout your journey till now?
Many people have helped me in my life right throughout, starting of course with my family, friends at university, my wife who married me when I had nothing at all to offer, the entire team in the office who work steadily, faithfully, putting in their best, clients who have been with us. We've won cases, lost cases, but they continue to trust us and support us. So I owe a lot to many people, but two particular people I would bring out as an example over here, which have taught me lessons. One which I would say both Mr. George Ribello, my first employer, and another same trait I also find in Bainbridge is they were very fast to make payments. Whenever a bill comes to them, I've found that they paid people immediately and it didn't cost them anything, but it generated a huge amount of goodwill and trust in the market. I now know, for example, let's say Bainbridge, if a bill is sent to them or an owner sends them charter hire invoice, there's so much more trust and confidence and creditworthiness in such people, and it's earned by prompt making of payments, not dragging out people right to the end. The other life lesson I want to add is from maybe late Captain Kailash Saigal from Interocean. I remember at the time in his last few years, he told me how, and he told me a long story which I won't get into, but basically how important it is to keep in touch with your old friends. Whether you need them or you don't need them, and it's not just chasing business. And from the story he told me, and I've tried to implement it into my life, and I thought it's really brought me a lot of benefit, happiness, to meet people who I had old friendship with, relationship with. We don't need each other for any commercial purpose, but emotionally just feels very comforting, supportive to be in each other's company.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Shankar. I'm sure our audience and the ones you have mentioned will be very pleased to know. And of course, Bainbridge, like I work here, not promoting it too much, but yes, they're very good with, the prompt actions that are required to be taken, and they take it without giving it a second thought.
They're a fantastic, hardworking team. I have a lot of respect for.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so Mr. Shankar, this has been a very incredibly insightful conversation for me. And one thing I would like to mention, I really liked your calm and very humble composure. I would like to tell, till now we have done around 18-19 episodes, and all my guests, I'm very inspired by them and with you also, that you all mentioned that calmness, groundedness, and that respect, for your, of course, industry also, and for your surroundings also. So that's commendable. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you also enjoyed the conversation, the discussion we had today.
It's been a complete pleasure. Thank you for all the hard work and effort you put in inviting me, planning all this great research that you've done about us, and the team as well.
That's my work. Thank you so much. So one thing today's conversation clearly reminded us is that in shipping, relationships may build the business, but clarity, trust, and contracts protect it. And sometimes the smallest clause or decision can have the biggest impact on a voyage, a partnership, or an entire business relationship. Thank you so much for joining us on Monday Shots. It's been an absolute pleasure. And to everyone watching, if you liked today's episode, do not forget to like and leave a review for us. This is Khyati signing off from Monday Shots. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making your mark. Thank you.